Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So this is going to be the lecture 8 of our Python series, and we're going to talk about classes and objects. Basically, we have talked about classes in the previous lecture as well. And basically, what's the need of class and objects in Python? That's the main aim of our today's lecture. So let's get started. Let me just give you a brief introduction of the subtopics. Basically, we're going to talk about inheritance, method overriding, data hiding, and function overloading. Where the lecture is being divided into two parts completely. The first part goes up for classes and objects. Basically, classes and objects. Then the subtopics are as follows: creating classes in Python, creating instance, then accessing attributes with dot notation, and then initializing the constructor. And in part 2, we're going to talk about OOPS terminology. What is OOPS? OOPS stands for Object Oriented Programming, and it is one of the core concepts of Python because this concept of Python makes it way too different from any other language, right? So, OOP has got class inheritance, overriding methods, data hiding, encapsulation, which we have already talked when we were talking about generalization. And we are also talking about function overloading, and then we'll practice a few questions. Let's see. Why is object oriented programming required? So basically, real world modeling, what does that mean? It means represent real identities such as car, student, bank account, which is used in daily life. When we talk about daily life things, then comes the use of oops. Then reusability, write it once and you can use through objects and inheritance. Once you have created a block of code, so you can use it throughout the object, and it can also inherit once. Okay, if you talk about organization, it is something, it bundles data in a form and then behavior in a kind of methods together so that it can be used again and again. When we come to scalability, it is easier to extend and maintain large programs, right? It is very easy to maintain, right? Python is a multi paradigm language. Everything in Python, from an into a function, is actually an object. Everything comes under object only. When we come to a point when we talk about classes and object, the binding blocks, these are the two things which actually builds blocks of oops, right? Then we come to the next part. What is class? A class is a blueprint or template for creating object. So a class is basically an outline which creates a object, right? It defines attributes, variables, methods that its object will have particularly, right? If we talk about, and apart from that, it uses different keywords to define it, right? No memory is allotted until an object is actually created. Once you haven't created the object in class, the memory allocation is not done. The real life use could have been a car. Car is a class, your car is the object under it. So mainly a car can be a class onto that, and if you get your car, that will be the object inside it. Moving to the next question, if we come to coding part, let's see how we actually create a class and how we initialize it and what all keywords we put inside it. So basically, see, the way you make functions like def and the name of the function, similarly you write class and you write the name of the class, and then you put things inside it. Like if you want to put class attributes to it or shared objects and all those stuff, you can initialize it first. And whenever you initialize, first of all you have to write self, and then whatever you want to put as a keyword inside it, then you have to put, if you get self.name, self.marks, and similarly you need to define a function, put things in it and call it every time specifically. This we will do it in VS. What is an object? An instance of class actually memory allocated. When you are done with creating the outline of the outlay of it, you get the memory allocation in which all of that instance is put. That is the point. Next comes to installation, the process of creating an object from a class. Once you create an object inside the class, that is the process of instantiation. Then we talk about every object has its own copy of instant attributes. Many objects can be created from the same class, each with different data, right? Everything is having a different data set for its working. Next, coming to general syntax, so the just the object and the name of the thing you're putting, then the class name, and then you put the arguments in that. Got it? If you talk about creating instance objects, then you can create it in this way. You can put the values inside and you can directly call it to display, and either you can print the type of it if you want. Accessing attributes, if we talk about, dot notation is one of the major things. Like you write the object name, that the attribute name, or reads, and you can read or write the value inside it. If you talk about methods, it is the same way, object name, method name, and you can directly call the value inside it. If we set it as set at ATTR, which stands for attribute, or get attribute, or delete attribute, all this can be used to function attributes in different things. Like for get and set, if you use built-in functions to access or update the attributes dynamically, and if you use has and then it is check if an attribute exists or it has already been deleted. And then we're coming to the next point. If we talk about accessing and modifying attributes, we see it in a way that once you have put it all the things in that, and you just decide to update it. Like attributes can read and update directly with dot notation, so we can do it with the help of get ATTR and set ATTR, या फिर has ATTR, right? This is the ways of updating it. Like see, print this, उसके बाद you can set this and you can print this again. If you want to change it from 95 to 99, you can set it there itself to make a change, make an updation out there. If we talk about init constructor, what is a constructor? Basically a special method that runs automatically when an object is created. So self is always the first parameter, refers to the object being created. Used to initialize instance attributes with starting values. Not compulsory. Python provides a default constructor. If you haven't written, if you have omitted it, Python will provide it on your own. If we put it as also called a dunder method, because it is double underscore before and after. Next, talking to instance versus class attributes. Instant attributes defined inside initializer, used to each object, every instant has its own copy. Then you talk about self dot marks and you get it on their own, just you put the name of the instance. Set when the object is created can differ per object. For different object it is different, and it can be easily set with the help of dot notation. Apart from that, if we talk about class attributes, defined directly inside the class outside any method, right? Shared by all objects of the class, and changing it via the class affects every object. Coming to the next point, we talk about OOP terminology. What is OOPs basically? What is inheritance, overriding, data hiding, and overloading? This all are the subtopics under OOPs. Let's move with it. Let's talk about class inheritance. A class child can reuse attributes and methods of another class which is above it, which has been defined above it, and it is considered as parent class. If two of the parent classes are there, it can inherit value from both the cases, right? The class being inherited from, that is known as the child or derived class. The class that inherits is known as child class. Promotes code reuse, avoid rewriting common logics, and you can inherit it in this way. You can put the name of the class, you can put the name of the derived class, and then you put the name of the base class, which is the parent class. Types of inheritance, if we talk about, it is about few types like single, multiple, multi-level, hierarchical, hybrid, and all of that. In single, one parent, one child is there. In multiple, child inherits from many parents. Multi-level when there are three or four levels inside it. And hybrid, it is the combination of all the above. And hierarchical, one parent, many children, right? If we talk about class inheritance, it's very easy to understand. Like here, animal is the first class and you have initialized it, and under that you are taking a function. After that you have a class as dog, so it will definitely inherit the methods and attributes from the parent class, which is animal. So this is how it process. See, dog automatically gets everything animal has and add its own method, but it can naturally get things from the main class and it can add on its own as well. If you talk about overriding, what is overriding? Method overriding, a child class provides its own version of method already defined in the parent, right? The child's version replaces the parent's version when called on a child object. Method name and parameter usually stay the same. So it is just that two of the things are being defined differently, and that's how it actually changes it. Super. Let's the child still call the parent original method if needed. Enable runtime polymorphism, same method name and different behavior. Here comes the concept of polymorphism. When you see that for the same name thing, the behavioral part of the code is actually different, and that's the reason behind it. When super comes and the child is already providing its things out there and parent is providing its things out there, and both have the similar names but the behavior is completely different, then comes the idea of polymorphism, right? Let's talk about overriding a parent method. Like, see, you put parent method and you're putting super and all of that in it. Both is having speak differently, and that's how it is overriding, because in animals it's saying it makes sound, and in it dog it's saying it barks. Let's talk about data hiding encapsulation. Data hiding restricting direct access to an object's internal data from outside the class. Protects data from accidental modification achieved in Python using naming conventions. So basically it's the direct access, single underscore, protected convention only, still accessible, and double underscore, private, name mangled, harder to access directly, and that's all. Let's talk about public versus protected. Public and protected, if we talk about, here it needs to be and public and protected. Public self name accessible anywhere, protected accessible but please treat as internal by convention. No informants by Python interpreter used within the class and subclasses. If we talk about private, name mangled internally, become class name behind the scene, not directly accessible by an object, access safely via public getter method. If we talk about data hiding, it is one of the important concepts because it helps the owner or the developer to decide what all to show to the user and what not. So that is the main thing. Like, you have an account for an instance and you just want the balance to be shown, and you set it in a different way and you set it as get balance. You don't want other things to be mentioned over everywhere, so you just decide to put it in that way. Balance cannot be accessed directly from outside the class. A public method like get balance is used to read it safely. Then moving to next part, function overloading, defining multiple functions with the same name but different parameters, common in language like C and Java. Python doesn't support true overloading. A later definition of the same function simply replaces the earlier. Python instead achieves similar flexibility using default arguments. One of the concepts of star ARGS and double star K walks, and we have already talked about it in the previous lecture. So look at this question. Now we're going to run. So you got 1 and 9. The minimum value is 1 and the largest value is 9. So this is how you actually find the maximum and minimum number. Let's talk it in the phase of low, comma high, and you put min and max over here, and then you put a list over here. Print low, high. Let's comment this out. No, not this, sorry, this one. Just remove this line, these two lines, right? Then low and high, and then let's write, let's run it once. So you get 3 and 9. So the largest value here is 3 and the largest here is 9. Now let's talk about function in which we are performing division. Def divide A and B, and then you have to return A floor B, A modulus B, and then Q R equal to divide 13, let's say 15 by 5, and then let's print QR. So you get it, 3 and 0. 3 is the quotient and 0 R is the remainder. Moving ahead to the next question. Let's create a dictionary first of all, like dictionary. Let's add key value pairs to it. Adding key value pairs. Adding key value pairs to it. Right, and let's print. After coming out of it, you have to print student, then you have to call name. You get Shagun. Similarly, college. And then course. Let's run. Right, now let's say you want to print the complete student. Then the whole of it will be printed in the form of key value pairs. So this is how it process. Next, come to the next question. Here in the dictionary we are creating key value pairs. A, then we are giving it 1, then we are taking B, then we are giving it 2, then this should be this way, like this, and then so on, right? This is the right way of let's suppose we want to get something out of this dictionary, so we will place d dot get maybe z at this place, and let's see the output. Print a in d. Let's run. Yeah, so it is giving 0 and true. Moving to the next, we have to perform aliasing. Let's do it. Aliasing, right? These are the numbers, let's say, and then you have to say that b is equal to a also, and now you want to append b is equal to a, and then you want to append b with a new number 8. Coming to the next, and you have to print a. Let's print C. You get the new tuple. So this is how it actually works. Coding part for the day. So basically I have told you in the previous lecture that how to use pre-built functions. So just let's revise it and come on to the topics. Okay, so for an instance, if you keep the string as Shagun for an example, and you want to check its length, you check it in this way. Okay, so the output needs to be 6. Let's run it and check. Yeah, you get 6. Now what basically I want you to understand is, the previous time we used to print one word and get the understanding that what is the length of the particular string out there. But an important point which you need to understand is that if you get spaces in a string, that is also counted, and I really don't want you to trust me over that. Let's code and check it for a while. I love coding maybe, and yeah, put a special mark as well. Let's put a full stop over there and check. So okay, let's print its length. Right, okay, let's run it. So 15, it's displaying 15, so let's count. So after this double commas, we have given 1 2 3, then this part 4 5 6 7, then 8 9 10 11 12 13 14, and this full stop comes for 15. So here you got the understanding that how spaces and special symbols are also being counted over here. Let's come to the part. For an instance, let's comment this out first and then move to the next. For an instance, I'm making a variable as empty and putting it as this way, and if I want to print the length of it, how will I do it actually? Simply the way we were doing from sticks. Let's run it. It shows zeros, but if I give a tab here, what will it give? It gives 1 because it is considering one space, right? That is being counted by Python, right? This was all about the thing. Now let's come to the topic of indexing. What is indexing? It is just a method in which you just put the index value which starts with 0, and it gives you the particular character at that specific index. Got it? Okay, let's take a word for instance. The word for the day is Python, you're learning Python, so let's get with it. You're taking Python as your variable, Python as your name, right? And you print it in a way, like if you want to get a specific character at a particular index, you just write the name of the variable, and you in the double square brackets you put the index value. For an instance, index starts from 0 and it goes till whatever n number that variable is. So basically maybe I want t, okay, and that is at the second index point. Let's put 2 over here and see what is the output. Okay, so here you put 2, so you get t, right? Similarly, if you put 0 over here, you get you'll get p. You get p. So this is how it works. For an example, if I use a negative index over here, how does it work? Let's print -1 over here and get the output. Yeah, you get n. How did you get n? Because 0 will always start from the beginning, and when you move to the extreme and you start moving towards left, it gives you the negative value. So the most extreme starts with -1. So the most extreme of Python is n. So you get at the value of -1 index, you get n. If rather than -1, if I put -2, what will I get? Let's run it and see. I get O. So just the one which is just considered to the n, you get O. So this is how it works. Let's not waste much of the time on this and move to the next. For an example, you have got a variable, like you have a word Python over here. Let it be in this way. Just remove this part and excuse me. Yeah, and you if you want to print each of the letters separately, you have to write 5 times the index value 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 and so on. But this can be done very easily with the help of for loop, right? So for loop can be used in this way, that for each character in the word, you run it in this way. For a character in word, you have to print ch every time. You're getting the point? So it will keep on moving. The loop will keep on moving till the last word, the last character of the particular word comes. You're getting my point? Let's check. Yeah, so this is how it will be printed. So a block of code which was meant to be a 5-6 line can be done in 2 lines as well. So this is how you code actually, the way you make it easier. This was what I was telling you in the one of the previous lectures of this series. I was talking about generalization. So this is what generalization is. Now let's go to the next topic for the day, and that is ranging, how you actually range this indexing values. Basically, if you got a variable as text and you put a value as programming, right? Right, text equals to programming. And now if you want to print, you have to write, see there are 3:2 values. First is start, then stop and then step. This is what I have already told you in the lecture. So if you don't mention the starting point of it, it is okay, it's completely fine. It will be starting from the 0th index. And if you don't mention the stopping point, that will be till the end of the string, right? And if you don't give the step value, it will just catch on to the very next character of it, or whatever number if it is there. So this is how it will process. So let's just see it once. If you directly put if this is now we want to print it from the 0th index to the 4th part maybe. So let's put it and run. See, you get till 4 digits. 0 index, you have 1. At the 0th index you have P. On the first you have R. On the second you have O. and on the third you have G. Whenever you put the 4, the index to be 4 or the exit to be any n, the text actually stops at n minus 1. Let's say you are not providing the initial part and you are just providing the stoppage part. What will be the output? This way we provide it to be 5, so it will be printed till R. Let's run and see. Till R. Similarly, if you provide the beginning part and not the ending part, what will be the output? Let's say you started from 1, so it will give you, apart from P, it will start from O and it will go to the end. And maybe if you just do it this way, what will be the output? Let's see what is the output for this. Yeah, you get the whole. When you write the comment in this way, the print statement in this way, just put colons, you get the complete word or the string you are putting. Now let's talk about how can you set the step, like it has got start, stop and step. So let's talk about how to set stepping. Now you have a word program already. If you have to give it a step of 2 and print it every time, so you can write print text, and then you're not giving the initial and stoppage points, just directly write. You have to skip two words. So 2, if it is there, it will skip one word at a time. Let's print the output. See, it is writing P, then R it is skipping, then O, then G it is skipping, then R, that A, then M it is speaking, I, then N and G. This is how it is working. So let's talk about if you want to reverse the string. If you want to reverse the string, you simply have to step it as -1 and reverse it. Let's see the output. See, it is being reversed. Whenever you want to reverse the string, you just have to step it as -1. Let's talk about the equality part, the membership operator thing, true and false concept. If you put it as, if you comment this out or delete it, yeah, if you write print apple double equals to apple, then what output will you get? You will get false, because both of the values are not same, right? So this is how it processes. Let me just show you. This is the equality comparison one. We will also study about membership operator, in which we will see in and not in concept. Let's check it on another thing as well. Let's say apple is there and we put the greater sign and then we put banana. Now let's see which one is greater. On the basis of length it will be decided, and it is showing 2 because banana is greater than apple. So this is how it works. It compares both of them on the basis of length, right? Let's now find, if I am putting a sentence and I want to find a specific word in that sentence, how can we do it? So let's see. If I am putting a sentence over here, as my name is Shagun, right? And if I have to find the word Shagun in this sentence, how can I find it? Maybe you're writing a paragraph or some assignment of 3,000 4,000 pages. it will just let you understand that how it is actually important. So if you write it in this way, that find sentence dot find, and what word you have to find, the word you have to find is maybe Shagun, no, maybe is you have to find. So if you run it and see, you will find it. It is writing 8. So at the very first index value of that is, like, whatever the index value is coming at the first letter of the word, that will be considered, right? So this is how you find a specific word. Coming to the next thing, coming to the next thing, we have to if I put any word which is not there in sentence, how will it process? Let's see. Sentence find, and maybe I put a word Java. So -1. Now -1 here explains the fact not found. I have also told this when I was discussing the theory part before this. Okay. Now let's check it, that if a word is particularly present and I'm printing it, like I'm coming here and I'm printing print Shagun in sentence. If you print it in this way, it will show false, because Shagun, the letter S, we have given it in the print is starting from the small letter, but actually it starts in capital letter, so it gives the output in that way. Now let's talk about if we have got a string and we have to count a number of particular character in that string, how will we count it? Let's create a string. Let's create a string as word Mississippi. It's the name of the river. I feel Mississippi is a river, yeah. Then we write a count we by default starts from 0. For an instance, for sh in for character ch in word, you have to write it if ch equals to maybe I for an instance, then you have to count plus equals to 1. Got my point? Then you have to simply print count. Getting my point? Let's run. We have got 4. So I is being used 4 times throughout the string. So this was the main part for the coding things which we have learned throughout the PDF. Chalo, so here are a few questions to solve. First, to solve out, you need to find the length of artificial intelligence. Very easy. Print artificial intelligence. Okay. 23. Now comes the next question. Given text, computer print the substring science using, just count till what digit it is going. Yeah, just write text first of all as computer science, and computer science, and then you have to print it from print text, that is from, I feel it is from 9th. Computer is of 9th to, don't mention because science is the only thing. Run it and see. Yes, see. Then comes you have to reverse. Whenever you have to reverse, just put double is to minus sign, then write print Python or any word you want to reverse, and then just give it like this, right? Next comes use find to check if data exists in database. Text equals to database, and then you have to print database dot find data. You don't need to write this because it's not important over here. Directly find it. I mean, here it needs to be in this manner. Here it is needed to be in this manner. Database should be like here, and then it is to be here. Write a loop to count. Let's run it first. Yeah, see. Next comes write a loop to count how many vowels are in there in the word. Create a word education, right? Education, and then for ch in word you have to you have to check how many vowels, right? If ch in a e I o u, then give it a count plus equals to 1. Let's run it. It needs to be this needed to be in AI. I feel just write it once again so it will be fixed. This is the only code. Just write it again, because I have seen that a lot of times you write it in the correct way, but due to some network error or some error, it is unable to run at that point. So just run it later. It would run because this is the correct code, right? So there are a few questions you should do on your own. So the very first question is create a list of 5 subjects names and print its length, right? This is the very first question. The second question is check whether physics is the member of that subject list. Then you have to check given marks, print items from index 1 to 3 using slicing. Then the next question is remove the smallest mark from the list using remove and print the result. Then after removing, then you have to create a nested list of 3 students, each with name and marks, and print.
Okay, so before starting the coding part, I just want to ask you if you have attended all the previous lectures, because how much you put an effort to understand the theory part. What actually important is how you code it. And to understand every new concept, you just need to have a prior learning of all the concepts which we have discussed in the previous videos. So today we are going to talk about tuples. Tuples. What are tuples? I have already told you that it is about how immutable things are uh, put in together. Okay, let's talk about how to create a tuple. Let's create it. Creating a tuple. Creating a tuple. T2. You can create it in this way as well. See. See.
right? Apart from that, if you want to have a single element in the tuple, you have to write it this way. And if you want to, like, if you have created t1 and you want to add 4 to it, it's not applicable. You have to create another tuple, merge both of them and get it, because it is immutable, right? Uske baad you have to create an empty tuple, empty tuple for an instance, so this way. Okay, now like you have to print t1. Let's print and see. Then you have to print the type of t1. Then might be you want to see what is at t1's 0th index. Let's see all of the outputs. See, so t1 is printed, the type of it is given as tuple, and at the 0th we have 1. So this was the basics of tuple. Now coming to a point that you might be changing you want to change the number at a specific index. Maybe you want to change something at 0th index. Let's do it, because we all know it is a immutable thing. So if we try to do it actually, what will be the problem and what will be the output? That's what we want to see. Like here I am putting t1 0th index and I want it to be 3. It is 1. Let's see. It's giving you an error, right? It is giving you an error. What error it is giving? Let's see. It is giving tuple object doesn't support the item assignment. So it is about the error. But concatenation happens. Let's see. We have a tuple as t1 and we want to add t2 to it, for an example. Let's create a new t4 it as, and let's add t1 and t2 and print t4. Let's print t4. Print t4. 1 2 3 and ABC. So this is how concatenation happens. Let's say if all of this is okay, now let's for an instance, if you have a list inside tuple, so let's see. For an instance, you have t3. Let's remove it. Yeah, for an instance, if you have t3 and you want to have a list inside it, for an example this, and then you put a list this way. Then in list 1th position, this whole of the list will get the 1th position. So there you want to append a value. Can that happen? It can happen, I have already told you, but let's run it, let's do it and check. Then we'll provide t3. Let's see if it runs or not. So the value is being appended. It will keep on adding in the list. It won't get a separate thing, right? So we have talked about how to append something in a list when it is inside the tuple. Let's talk about tuple unpacking and packing. For an example, if you have tuple packing, unpacking, tuple packing and unpacking, right? For an example, you have something as point 3 and 4 and you want to xy the point, then you print both of it. Okay, let's try this out, what happens to it. You are unpacking it actually here. See, you get the value as 3 and 4. So actually you are unpacking the value. Let's talk about how you swap the value. When you swap numbers. When you talk about swapping numbers, right? Then you get AB equals to 5 and 10. And then you get AB equals to B and A. Right? So then you print A and B, and then let's see what happens. Yeah, it is reversing both of the numbers, right? See, 10 is coming to A and A is coming to B. So this is how you can actually swap numbers as well. So I just want to know that is tuple being cleared in your head, that how it processes, why it processes. If you have list, why do you need tuple? If you have dictionaries, why do you need tuple? Because behind learning everything, you have a key concept, right? The more you understand about it, the more it will get clear in your head practically, so that you can actually understand it. Okay, let's move to the next concept, that is we are done with swapping numbers, right? For grabbing a few numbers, additional numbers in a tuple, we can use star also. Let's do it and see. When it comes to star usage, okay, for an example, we have a tuple as nums. We have 1, 6, 7, 8, 7. Okay, four numbers we do have, and we want it to be in a way that first number comes, then the middle comes, and then the last numbers comes. So let's do it and see the output. Print print first, middle, and last, right? Let's run and see how it is processing. See, here what you are doing, you are printing the first thing and you are listing two values in the middle, right? And you're getting the last number of nums. So this is how it is actually processing. So we are done with putting the star and getting the value. Now let's talk about getting maximum and minimums, right? Let's do it as well. So for an instance, uh, you make something as some function as this. You define it and you make minimum and maximum, and then you put numbers in this way, right? And you have to return minimum of numbers every time and maximum numbers every time. And now let's call it and understand. Now we have to put the result and call the function and put the function and put it this way, and let's print result. So if you put 3, this needs to be see 1 2 3 let it be 4 comma, and you have to put a square brackets to get it correctly, and then print the result. Let's run it. You're getting error. What is the error? I feel there is an updation over here. Let's update it. So look at this question. Now we're going to run. So you got 1 and 9. The minimum value is 1 and the largest value is 9. So this is how you actually find the maximum and minimum number. Let's talk it in the phase of low, comma high, and you put min and max over here, and then you put a list over here. Print low, high. Let's comment this out. No, not this, sorry, this one. Just remove this line, these two lines, right? Then low and high, and then let's write, let's run it once. So you get 3 and 9. So the largest value here is 3 and the largest here is 9. Now let's talk about function in which we are performing division. Def divide a and b, and then you have to return a floor b, a modulus b, and then q r equal to divide 13, let's say 15 by 5, and then let's print QR. So you get it, 3 and 0. 3 is the quotient and 0 r is the remainder. Moving ahead to the next question. Let's create a dictionary first of all, like dictionary. Let's add key value pairs to it. Adding key value pairs. Adding key value pairs to it. Right, and let's print. After coming out of it, you have to print student, then you have to call name. You get Shagun. Similarly, college. And then course. Let's run. Right, now let's say you want to print the complete student. Then the whole of it will be printed in the form of key value pairs. So this is how it processes. Next, come to the next question. Here in the dictionary we are creating key value pairs. A, then we are giving it 1, then we are taking B, then we are giving it 2, then this should be this way, like this, and then so on, right? This is the right way of let's suppose we want to get something out of this dictionary, so we will place d dot get maybe z at this place, and let's see the output. Print a in d. Let's run. Yeah, so it is giving 0 and true. Moving to the next, we have to perform aliasing. Let's do it. Aliasing, right? These are the numbers, let's say, and then you have to say